Good afternoon, everyone. Hope nice to see you once again. Let's begin the session with the one quote written by Steve Jobs. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Our passion makes us crave for constant improvements. I would like Mahesh to take over and start the session.
Great. So, guys, if you could just, I've heard Sonia Miss. I have not heard the other participants. If you could just show thumbs up, we could begin in the meantime. Amita ma'am, Veena ma'am, great. So, today is again about Zoom. One level up, what we have done from yesterday's session. So, you could see few things are repeated, but today it's not going to be the presentation, it's going to be the mini stories between the presentation which are important. So I'm going to begin with our course or workshop, I'll say. So if you would have seen all our agendas for the advanced workshop, I'll be taking all those things and I'll be discussing about them each and every part in minute with minute details. So first thing is online teaching. When we talk about online teaching, what are the do's and don'ts of online teaching? So what all things you should do when you are in the online teaching, what all should things you should not do when you are in the online teaching. But before we go ahead, I guess we have a poll to be taken. Radhika, do we have a poll ready for it? Is it
Yes,
now or
Mahesh.
later?
Yes, it's now.
Okay, let's have
Yes.
a poll to understand. I think we have very less participants, but still we need to have it. Yeah. So if you could just respond to the polls, there are a few questions on the poll which you could answer. Okay, so yesterday it was whether you have taken session or not. Today it is because we are considering the advanced session. So how many sessions you have taken? That's what we are trying to consider. Next one, if you'll see which grade you teach, and today's are one of the important topic is cyber security important or not? So that also we'll be discussing in today's session. So if you could just respond on it, that would be nice. So let's see the results. So okay, so when I'm seeing the participants, okay, again, two people are saying that you have not yet started, you are yet to start, and one person, okay, great. One person has taken more than 20 sessions. That's awesome to hear. We could also, if time permit, we could also do sharing of our experiences in between. And primary and secondary is our strength today's cohort, and cyber security. Everyone feel that it's important. So let's understand what are the basics of. Although you are all much experienced with the teaching, but just to begin with, what all things are important when we are in the online teaching, that's also required. So when we are, so if you would have observed yesterday, when I was trying to work with my PPT, it was not working and it got stuck. So it's not that I have not checked it, but we should always be prepared that if we are in the online session, there is going to be something which could happen. But the only thing is, don't panic. So these are some of the options that which you should do when you are going to begin with the online sessions. Check the technology, check the process. So if you would have observed, I have actually kept my uh, PPT ready in my mobile phone as well as my on my laptop, so that I was prepared that if something goes wrong, I have the backup. Please please always have a smile, because you are going to show your face to the audience, and this time it's not your physical cues, it's your expression on your face which audience will take it. Encourage everyone to contribute, because it's very easy to get distracted. We were in the session yesterday also, and if you would have seen various webinars, people are taking session and without worrying about whether the participants are there or not, they go on and on and on, and it's very easy for me to just minimize and go to the other browser. So just be sure that you are encouraging participants to contribute. You are treating everyone with kindness. Not everyone know that technology is there, and do not consider that they know everything. Redesign your slides, make sure your slides are very simple, and have fun, guys. It's online teaching, but in the end it's your teaching. So as Radhika shared the quote, it's the passion. Let's show our passion on the screen during the online session also. So let's move ahead. These are some of the do's, what you should do, what you should not do. So do not think that teaching तो हम बहुत सालों से कर रहे हैं तो ऑनलाइन टीचिंग भी हो जाएगा. please rehearse. I'm not saying you write and rehearse. You could mentally rehearse also. That can come with the experience which you have gained. So please rehearse. So even if I'm taking session, I have a plan in my mind that when I have to say what. Do not get stressed or panic about technical glitches. That is bound to happen, and please prepare your student also. Tell them that if something like that happen, no big deal, it happens with everyone, and it may happen with them also, because everyone is using the internet, and there are high chances that internet may go down, or you may lose connection also. So the same thing I am also saying is that if something like that happened today also, then I'll have to switch on to my laptop. I have already told Radhika that give me a cue if I'm not audible also. So you have to be very much prepared about the glitches, and please do not fear the technology. Technology is to help us, it's not to take our strength away from us. Don't assume that students know everything, and they will communicate if they have issue. So if you find that somebody has issue, please communicate. So if you would have observed, I am also checking with the participants, and I understood that there are few participants who are not able to interact. It's not that they don't want to interact, but some technical issues. And because we are in the online teaching, we feel that we can share a lot online with the students. We are at our home, they are at their home, so we could do that. Please make sure that professional boundaries are maintained, and you are not getting into back and forth with continuous debate. So if you have given assignment to the students have not done it, do not type in mail again and again. Don't do that back and forth of mail again and again, because when you are online, anything, I'm talking about asynchronous, not synchronous, anything you type becomes the evidence against you also. It could be against student also, but make sure that as a teachers we are very careful. Do not get up with the tools. So there are multiple tools available. Do not think that ye bhi use karna hai, ye bhi use karna hai, sab use karna hai. But in the end, it should not happen that the learning get affected. It's all about learning in the end. Please make sure that the content, the thought which has to be reaching to the student should reach, whether you use tool or not. But make sure the content is there. The learning is very important. So now, as almost everyone said, the cyber security is very important. That's why we have also included this part, because we are all in the world. Now if you see on the screen, it says danger of living in a connected world. We are all connected, but in that case it is also important to understand we are all not safe. So whatever we share, whatever we put on screen in computer, whether it's your Facebook, whether it's your WhatsApp, anything becomes something which is a record which is available digitally. So you have to be very sure how you can safeguard yourself. I'll be sharing few things which I have picked up from various sources from the internet, right? So these are some of the things, as all of us are adults and we all know that how we can safeguard our accounts. But just to refresh everyone, that if you are as a teacher, what all we should do, that, and our students are very smart, they have capability to even hack your account. So you have to be very careful. You're using, if you're using email address, please make sure you're using your school email address, your organization's email, if it is available. Do all this password, biometric password, two factor authentication. You must have seen all the mails coming up, Google saying you please use two factor authentication, where you have to register your mobile phone. So if anyone access your account, you get a mail or you get a message about from the account, and you can change your password, right? Going ahead,
Okay,
now we
click
are
on screenshot.
okay. If you could, Veena ma'am, if you could just mute yourself, please.
Screenshot से तो
Thank you. So when we go ahead with how we can make mobile secure, because nowadays we are also on mobile phone, please make sure that your device is updated. So when I'm saying device is updated, even when we are using Zoom, Zoom has come up with the latest updated version. Make sure that the version which you are using, which is 5.0.3, is the updated version. Please use the updated version. Use biometric password wherever possible. Disable the Bluetooth when you are not using it. Only use the Wi-Fi networks which are safe enough, which you feel are the safe. Do not try to use the publicly available Wi-Fi network. Just being cautious. And now, being a teacher, it's very important that we are safeguarding our online reputation. Not only reputation, but even online reputation. So what all thing could happen is, if your account is gone, and let's say if your Facebook account is hacked by a student and something is posted which is not connected, which is not related to you, being a teacher, you could lose a job. So it's very important that our reputation, our online reputation is also being taken care. So if you have any previous account which you are not using, please delete it. Please use as strong password as possible, which cannot be taken by others, but still there are chances. But make sure that uh, you are taking care of all the required steps for safeguarding your privacy and your reputation online also. So as I told you, you must have heard of phishing also. There are web series also available in the TV and OTT channels about phishing, how people just tell that they are from different organization and they try to take details from you. They try to offer you some gifts. They send, nowadays it's a COVID situation, and if you would have observed, you get a mail saying that this is the link which gives you all the details about where corona is spreading, where it is not spreading. So you have to be very careful, be very sure that whether it's from your trusted source or not, because if no, then it could lead to a severe damage to your device and to your account as well. So be very careful. So this is a small detail telling you how to identify if it is a phishing scam. So you will understand that they will send all sort of mail. There will be some small spelling mistake, some weird attachment. They may offer you a lot of money, KBC jeet gaya aap, all those things. So you have to be very careful, because nothing comes for free. Lottery ऐसे ही नहीं लगती है किसी को. Going ahead, now all these details are available on the internet also. I have picked it from the links. I have shared the link here on the screen for you people. And if you were in some WhatsApp group where I was also there, so I have also shared these links over there. So cyber security, the cyber cell of Indian government is also quite active right now. So please take help of all these things. This PPT I think will be shared with you people, so these links are available, you can use them. So going ahead, when we are talking about, these are cyber security in general, whether it's your Facebook account, whether it's your Twitter account, anything. Now going ahead with our part, which is teaching. So yesterday I said Zoom is just an app. Today I am saying again, Zoom is just an app. It can also be your account in Zoom can also be hacked. So please make sure you're following some guidelines, some security measures which are very important. So as I said, restricted area, make your Zoom account as a restricted area where only authorized personnel can enter, no one else. Going ahead, when we are in the Zoom, when you are taking a Zoom session, please make sure that all these things are done. I have shared with you yesterday also that what all things can be done if you are taking session before the meeting. What all things you could do is generate unique meeting ID, require participants to register. If you are on the larger scale, if you are taking a session where you don't know, so let's say we have taken a session where we don't know most of you. So what we have asked you to register with your name and details, so that we know it's a safe participant, it's a person who's interested in learning. So that's how I require them to log in. Turn off the participants video upon entry. This is very important. So if somebody who you don't know what that person is could have anything on screen, and you have to be very careful, mute it, ensure all the file transfers are disabled. So it should not happen that I am taking a session and somebody is just sharing something which is not needed and I have no control. This has happened with the government organization using the conferences also, you must have seen in newspaper. So these are some of the techniques, some of the safety measures you should do. Now what to do when we are using our devices, this I have shared with you yesterday also in our session, that when you are scheduling a meeting, please do not take your personal meeting ID. Avoid using the recurring meeting also. Even if you're taking session throughout the week, every day with the same people, avoid taking the option of recurring meeting. Use generate automatically, and every time generate the meeting ID, because it's still free. So there's no use of taking the recurring meeting. It's for your own safety. Enable the waiting room and mute the participants on entry, as we have discussed yesterday also. So next one is, now again on mobile phone, if you are scheduling, make sure that waiting room is enabled and all the required settings are done, which we have discussed yesterday also. So when you go in setting, you have to make sure that what sort of settings are being taken care. If you are putting video, please make sure the participants are video. Are you allowing them to rename or not? All these options are being taken care by you or not. Either whether the waiting room is enabled or not. The first important part when we talk about Zoom is, keep the waiting room enabled. Anyone who's trying to join in your meeting, it may give you little distraction, but it is very helpful that nobody else who's not required is entering in the session. Going. Okay, so again, audio, you can check your audios and understand whether your voice is going clearly or not. Share screen, whether you want participants to allow share screen or not. Today I'll be sharing some of the example of where I have allowed participants to work with me, but then this is after a duration, after where we have actually understood that kitna time lagta hai. We have understood that these are the students available. It's not that initially only we'll allow, but as trust is built up, we use it. So please make sure the share option, whether you are allowing participants to share or not, who all can share, all these options are taken care by you. Even in mobile phone, the same settings are available for the chat also, for the meeting also. So this I have shared with you yesterday also in the basics of what all meeting settings you should have when you are conducting a Zoom meet. Before we are actually starting with the Zoom meet, whether it's a chat or whether it's a meeting setting. Now these were all the options which we have used before the meeting. So when you are in the meeting and if you are in a meeting, there's one option, it says designate a co-host. So you must be wondering that for us there is no option of designating a co-host. This is the option which is available in the paid version only. So right now if you'll observe, my trusted tutor is a host and me and my mobile, if you could see today also, me and my mobile both have joined, we are co-host. So when you are using a paid version, you have option of making someone else host or making someone else co-host. So you already designate a co-host if you're taking a bigger meeting. So if you are a principal, if you are a head of a school and you're taking a meeting, you could designate a co-host. So in that case, if something goes wrong, then if you are not there, somebody else can handle the meeting. Prevent participants from screen sharing. As I just told you that make sure it's you only who's sharing the screen. Mute the participant, stop the participant's video initially, and if you feel that you want to see whether these are the participants, ask them to switch on the video. Remove the participant if you feel anyone who's not someone who's interested or looking like that's your participant, that's the person who is from your class, please remove it. And lock the meeting, that's the option where once everyone from your team are there, participants are there, you can lock the meeting so that nobody can come out. So now why I said stop the participants video is, you must have seen now in the WhatsApp, there is one post circulating about a classroom where one student is just for a fun putting one character from a TV serial, and teacher is trying to say him that please change it, and it has been recorded. So it's very important that you disable the recording option. So you could see that has been widely circulated that this is what is happening in the online classroom. That, but if you are teacher, you will understand that this is very common which happens. So you have to deal it with very utmost sincerity and make sure that the recording option is only available with you, not with the participants. Okay, so when you are in the Zoom meeting during the session, these are all the options available discussed with you people yesterday, as almost all the participants are same. So I'm not discussing about this in detail because these were in the basics. So these are some of the settings you should take care. So you could see the security option is available when you are actually taking a meeting, and in the security there is option of lock the meeting, enable the waiting room, share screen, chat, rename. These are all the options available. So if you feel that your participants you could allow them to rename, please allow that option. Otherwise you could tell them initially only that everyone has to join with the meeting or your classroom with only their name, because they'll not be allowed to rename, and in that case nobody else can join your meeting. Make sure the share screen option is not given, waiting room is enabled. I'm repeating again and again, enable waiting room. Again, sharing, only you should do recording. Make sure only you are doing the recording so that nothing can be taken. And because nowadays it's very easy to just take the recording and create meme. It's a trend where creating meme is very easy. People just create meme, they like it and they just circulate it. For them it's fun, but for you it could become a reputation issue. So just be aware of it. And I told you yesterday also, please end the meeting towards the end. If you are a host, if you don't end the meeting, you will leave the meeting, then somebody else becomes the host. So please end the meeting. The same settings are there in the mobile phone also, just the screen thoda chota ho jata hai, baki sab settings same hi hai. in mobile phone also, please make sure that you are ending the meeting. Before we actually go ahead with the poll, I would request you to write down any question which you have related to what we have done till now. Great. So, do you know how to share PDF? 66% people say no. Uh, do you know how to use annotation? Again, 66 people says no. And okay, teaching can be done effectively with whiteboard. People says yes. So I'll be telling you how to do all those things with the help of the further part of the session. So are we good to go? Great. Okay, so I guess this was the poll which you guys have just given the answer. Going ahead, one of our agenda was how to use your smartphone effectively. So if you see the title, we have written being smart with smartphone. So even if you don't have laptop, your laptop is damaged, still you can continue teaching. Today I'll be also sharing how even if you don't have whiteboard and if you don't want to use Zoom whiteboard, how you can use the setting of how to use your drawing. I'll be teaching you with your notebook also. You can actually teach the students. So let's see how we can effectively use mobile phone. So effectively using smartphone, I have shown you one example yesterday that how I have used my mobile phone to share the PPT. Because when I was sharing the PPT, somehow the zoom option, I have zoomed it and I couldn't understand how to what I could say is zoom in, how to zoom out. So later on, I understood that in that case, when you try to zoom in and you are stuck, just press the escape bar and you are back. So when you are on mobile phone, first thing you will get is call via device audio. So if you're using your laptop and mobile phone simultaneously, this option you don't click it, you can effectively use both the device together. Otherwise, if you use both the device and if you don't if you click on it, there will be echo sound heard, which is sort of disturbing for everyone. Going ahead, how you can share, I've discussed yesterday also. If you just click on the share, you get all the option. You can share photos, you can share documents, PDF as well on the mobile phone. You can share screen, and with screen you can share PPT also, you can share video also. But in mobile there's a limitation, no audio. You can share whiteboard also. So let's see how PDF can be shared. So as I told you, when you click on the document in the share option, when you click on document, the PDF should be already open in your mobile phone. If it is open, then with the document, with in document you don't have to worry. But if you are sharing with the screen, it's like a screen mirror or screencast on your TV. Same thing, whatever is there on your mobile phone will be visible to the participants during the Zoom session also. And this is how you can share PPT or PDF. For PDF, you can also use the option of documents, right? And on that you can also do annotation. We'll be discussing about how to do annotation. So whiteboard, one option which is available in Zoom. Right now I'm talking only about mobile phone. Later on we'll be talking about laptop also, how to use that. Zoom recommend that if you want to experience the best of Zoom, then you have to use the laptop, but or the desktop version. But if you don't have it, you are having some issue with your computer, then definitely the work cannot stop. If you are passionate enough, the work goes on and you will be able to manage it very well. So going ahead, if you click on the share option, you click on share whiteboard, you get this whiteboard. Obviously the screen will be small, but you put it in the horizontal mode and the full screen will be visible to the participants. So we'll be talking about this thoda aage बढ़ के. Right now we'll talk about PPT, PDF, and then we'll go ahead. When we talk about mobile phone, these were some of the options. When we're talking about laptop, how we share PDF or PPT and the online video, let's see that. So when you click on share in your Zoom meeting during the Zoom session, the moment you click on share, all the things which are open in your laptop will be visible to you. So make sure, if you want to show PPT, if you want to show image, if you want to show a video, all those things are ready with you. It should not that you click on it and then you find out where is the share option is there but nothing is visible. So you have to keep it ready. If they are open, then only they will be visible. So if you click on the share, the first thing, if it is open, PPT will be visible. You can share with the participants. Same goes for video. When you click on share, everything will be visible. If the video is there, the only new thing for video is that you have to share. If you could observe this place. Okay, I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm using the annotation. You could see this place here. Here you will find out there's an option of a box where you have to check that box to share your audio from the computer. If you don't do that, then you will not be able to, the participants will not be able to hear, although you will be able to hear the sound from the video. Going ahead. Okay, so there are some advanced options also given in the whiteboard, but not those great advanced option. You can actually use your, when you are at having a meeting, when you are sharing screen, it becomes large. What advanced option gives you is you can have a portion of screen and other things from your laptop is visible, and the camera you can utilize it. So these are some of the advanced options of your whiteboard only available. Now going ahead with the annotation in mobile phone. So again, when I told you to share, the moment you share on whiteboard or you share something, next to it you will get a small pen mark. So you could see here, I don't know whether the, yeah, you can see my cursor. Also now, right now what I am doing is I am giving presentation and I am also checking that what participants will be seeing. So in my mobile phone, I am actually understanding that when I am moving my cursor, is it visible to participants whether the cursor is moving or not. So that also, this way you can actually check the feedback for your own presentation, what is happening during the live session also. But obviously it takes that your mobile is also on, your laptop is also on, बैटरी यूज हो रहा है, मोबाइल डेटा भी जा रहा है, वाईफाई का कनेक्शन का भी डेटा लग रहा है. तो those are some of the things, but if you want to do it effectively, you can use it. Going ahead with this part, so today I'll be actually sharing one of my class ka images that how we have used annotation interactively. So this is whiteboard available on mobile phone. When you click on the pen, these are some of the options you could see here. I guess, yeah. So the cursor is visible. These are some of the options in the mobile phone when you share the whiteboard. And as I told you, when you start sharing, student also start exploring and they fidget on screen. So to avoid that, what you could do is there are some setting you could annotation ko you could disable it. I have kept it enabled because initially I felt that they are trying to disturb, but then I understood they are trying to explore. I give them freedom that you fidget on my screen for maybe 2 minutes, and then if you want to work on screen, we'll be working together. So I'll be sharing few examples that how teacher and students have worked together on the whiteboard. This also works in your favor. Let's say if my session was going on and my Wi-Fi went away, so I can't use my laptop. So what I did, I used my mobile phone, I shared the board and I asked student to solve it on whiteboard. So when they are solving, you get very less option of using whiteboard on mobile phone. So in that case, when students are solving, you are relaxed and you can understand that what is happening in the classroom. So let's see, this is one of the example. So when you keep the mobile phone in the horizontal mode, the whiteboard is visible in the same manner as on the laptop. The only thing is the options are limited. You don't get square, rectangle, square, circle. All those options will not be available. Only you will get a pen ka option. So you could see this is a mobile screen. I'm using, my session was happening and my Wi-Fi went, my electricity went, and I was. This is, I think, of the recent when the cyclone thing was happening, and I think that was our first day of a school for full school 1 to 10. We were having grade 10 ka session from last 3 weeks, but for 1 to 10 everyone we started on this Monday, last Monday when the cyclone thing was happening, and electricity was not there, and still I was taking session, and I asked student to solve it. So I dictated a question. I gave them question which was already there, and as we were solving, I asked one student to solve it on screen. So let's see how it works. So when student actually solve it on screen, you could see I have kept the annotation enabled, but I have also checked the name of annotator. So you understand that only the person whom you have asked to solve or work on screen is working, nobody else. Otherwise it may happen that everyone start working and you are wondering that who's working on the screen. So that is also available in the mobile phone. You can actually check who's working on screen. So you could see this is one numerical grade 10 reflection of light, one numerical happening, student is solving, and you can see how students are also struggling. So from that empathy is created that when teacher actually work, they should also understand that it's not easy. And I have actually started enjoying, I tell the student to do more oftenly so that they become more aware that when teacher is using the whiteboard, when the teacher is using the screen, you have to be very empathetic that it's not easy. So then it's not only in my session but with other teachers also, they feel that if there is some issue happening, we should all cooperate with the teachers. So
Mahesh, sorry to interrupt you,
yes.
but how do we find out who is annotating on our screen?
Okay, I'll be answering that when you talk about. Okay, I think I have. Yeah, can you see the screen? Yeah. So if you observe, your mobile right now it's about mobile phone. In the mobile phone, when the whiteboard is open, you have option of annotate. You
Annotate.
disable this, nobody can annotate. But if I have enabled now, here it says show name of annotator. So if you just
Okay.
enable this one, you will understand who is scribbling on your screen. So this is
Okay.
from one of my previous meeting, not for this meeting. For this, I have enabled the name of annotator. Okay, so these are the things. Now this was for mobile phone. Now what if you are on the session, you're using your whiteboard on the laptop? So let's understand how you can use whiteboard on laptop effectively. You get the best results here. So let's see. The moment you click on share whiteboard, this is what is available to you on screen. So this is your whiteboard. You can observe these are the options available. So today we'll be talking about these options. So as I told you, this is again from one of the session where student try to write something and it's not what you wanted. So when you go ahead, if you observe at this end on top, you observe there's option of more. In that, if you click on it, you will get option of whether you should allow participants to annotate or not. This screen, this I have picked it from internet. You can see two people simultaneously can work on the screen. So one person is working with a different manner, the other person is trying to work. So two people can work simultaneously. I will be showing my own example how students and teachers have actually worked simultaneously on the same screen. So let's see how to go ahead. So this I have shown you in the yesterday's presentation also. So when you observe on top right, if you observe, if you click on it, either more or on the annotation, if you have opened the whiteboard, you click on the pen sign, you get all the options. Whether you want to disable participant annotation or you want to enable it and show name of participants who's doing annotation, that option is available. So either you can search when the whiteboard is shared, three dots more, you get option, or if you have shared whiteboard, there will be option of whiteboard, a pen mark will be visible, you click on it, you get option of disable annotation or show name of annotator and some of the other settings. So only these two only, if you will take care of it, rest all are sorted. The option is when you are using Zoom whiteboard, you can observe this option. Whatever you have done on screen, you can actually save it. It actually gets saved as an image for you, so you can use this later on also. So initially what I did, I actually worked on screen all the ray diagram which we have drawn here. I have saved it and shared those with the student on Google Classroom. So that also goes as your a backup, that whatever you have done on screen is also visible even if you have not done recording. So going ahead, a lot of examples I'll be sharing. This was again example which I've shared yesterday. So these were some example limited which I've shared yesterday. Today I'll be sharing some more example in detail. So you could see, you could use text, you could actually use a pen and you can do division, and you can, obviously it will take more time, you need more practice to actually work with it, but you can, if you begin and if you ask student also to work together, things will be going slowly. And as obviously we are going to use this full month also, so explore more and more. The more you explore, the more you learn. That's what I'll say here. Going ahead, this is you can see how colorful the diagram is. On the right side, the diagram which is drawn by me without using any ruler, only using Zoom whiteboard. On the left side, it is student who have tried to draw the diagram. You can see I have asked the student and they have drawn. Now Zoom also gives you different colors. So this diagram, if you observe, I have saved it. Now this becomes my teaching reference. I could just take the printout and keep it in library. These diagrams remain there. I have also shared this diagram with the student in the Google Classroom after our session was over. So next time, if even in the offline class, if I'm using PPT, I could just show this diagram which are done during the classroom. So you don't have to pick it up from your internet. You have your own ready resource available. Going ahead, next you could see, yesterday I shown only the part of the diagram. Today you could see actually a derivation of a principle of movements has been done. I'm so sorry about the spelling over there. The full setup, full derivation itself is there on the screen, which you have done along with the students. Next one. Now maths teacher, we have maths teachers also here. So what to do if you want to draw various shapes? This is again not math, this is physics class, but we have used various shapes which are required for center of gravity. So you could see in the Zoom whiteboard, you get option of rectangle, you get option of circle, you get option of sphere, you have option of hollow and filled also. You could see these are all the shapes I've drawn with the straight line option available. So it's not that cone is available, only circle, square, rectangle are available, and you can use the straight line to draw all these shapes. You could see all the triangular, lamina, rectangle and all those I've drawn with the straight line. But with maths you can complete it and you can actually use it effectively. Obviously the pace will be thoda slow, but it will help. Even the student will start enjoying it, and you give them freedom to work on screen, definitely they'll enjoy it. You can see this is one full numerical I have solved on screen. Now you will see that this is very, it looks very neat. So what I did in this case was, in this case the sum was done by me before the session. So I was having meeting with my own self. I have shared the whiteboard. I have done all this. I have typed it up, or you can just type it in Google. Okay, Google you don't have to type, you can type here. There's option of a text. It will take more time, so if you are ready you can actually type it up and keep it and save this whiteboard, and this same whiteboard as image you can share with the student during this session. So it saves lot of time during the session. So all the correction and all those has to happen, you will be able to do during the session. So if this is my session happening and I want to just tell you that please look at this step, how this came up. So you could actually this is done by me previously before the session. You can ask student to pay attention to this part, and even students have any doubt, they can just mark on your screen, which will have no impact on your screen. You could see somebody is trying to mark also on the screen, right? So going ahead now, these are sums being solved here. Okay, so now this is one of the interesting thing, that I have shared a PDF. This is a chapter and PDF where the questions are given. So I don't have to dictate the questions are there. I have highlighted the question with yellow. So if you could see, this yellow thing is I have highlighted only this question, and below that there were more questions written. So what I did, I used the annotation. In the annotation I use the filled square or rectangle, and I have dragged it up. So whichever color ka board you want, that board is available. So you could see students have also solved, I have also solved. I have picked different terms during the session itself, and I've told them iska matlab kya hai, why this term is there, and all this interactively. This is, so it's not that online may it has to be only you talking and students are just listening. Even if they are on mute, you can just ask them to work simultaneously. And just for the sake of being in school and the teachers, I've just not kept the names there. You could see this is one of the screen. I'll be also showing you that how, and you could see if the sum is happening. So if you are a maths teacher and if you have given some sum and you want student to work out, and when they work it out they want to give answer, so what you could do is you can ask them to give answer to you in the chat box privately. You keep your chat box open publicly, so if they have to give answer before everyone gives, they can give it to you in the private. So you could see all the answers which I have got here are to me before others have solved. So those who are quick with the answers, they have solved, they have sent the answer to me. You could see I have asked one student to solve. After that, that person has solved, and then I have actually asked one person to read the question, and we have picked it up that why this is plus, this is minus, and all those things. So this is totally interactive session happening on Zoom. Going ahead, so this is one of the example where I have shared image. So in this image, what I did, if something is missing, you can actually mark it with the use of annotation. Going ahead, this is a neat version of the same thing, the previous sum that was numerical. Uske pehle ka ek aur sum hai where I had to draw diagram. So now this is the diagram which I have drawn during this session. So students are reading the question, and along with the student we can actually draw, and you could see if students are missing or you are missing the whiteboard or blackboard, you can use the blackboard option, the option which is available, any color. If you want to use green board, you can use a green color, and that becomes your class. It's like your class questions are there and you are trying to solve. Obviously you need more practice. The more practice you do, the more effectively is your session going to go. Going ahead now, one of the title for our today's presentation is Jugaad. That what if you don't have whiteboard at home? If you are a maths teacher, you don't have whiteboard at home. You're a physics teacher, you don't have whiteboard, and you are not comfortable with using whiteboard on Zoom. Then what to do? So in that case, you can use your mobile phone, right? So this way, so there is option that if you want to use only your mobile phone, then student will not be able to see your face. They will be able to see what you are writing. So let's see what happens. So you could see there is some 2 marks here. Somebody has tried to do annotation here. So no problem. Going ahead, this I have used alternative for whiteboard. Okay, a quick check. Am I audible to everyone? Because I think I got paused.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, I'm audible. Great. So if you see, I've written the title as alternative for whiteboard. So this is my own meeting I'm having with my mobile phone. So as I told you, I must have had more meeting with my mobile phone to understand how Zoom works than the students and the webinars. Although everything helps. So this is, if this diagram, if you can see on the right side, sorry, left side, the diagram which is there on the screen, if I use the whiteboard and try to draw, it will take me more time. And if I have to draw it in front of the student, it will not come like this. It will take much more time. So what you could do is you could use your mobile phone, the back camera, your back camera ka capacity, the catching and the clarity is better compared to your front camera. You can use your mobile phone and see how we have done. So how to use your Indian jugaad, which techies, all the technical people use it. Just what I could say is बड़ा चढ़ाकर बोलते हैं, but it's all okay. How we can use whiteboard, alternative for whiteboard. So you could see on the right side there's a small screen visible. If you're using your mobile phone and you're using your notebook, this is what will be visible to the students. Although screen chota hai, but your impact will be greater. So let's see. I've made a small video. Here you'll not be able to see here. You will not be able to hear anything because what I did, I've started a Zoom meet and I have screen recorded. So when you are using two apps at the same time, obviously the sound will not be taken because Zoom was also on. So I have used AZ screen recorder where I was actually trying to capture that on Zoom also it could be done. So that's why I have, you can see it's a Zoom meeting happening and the recording is being done. So see what happened. So I'm trying to draw a diagram, circuit diagram for resistors connected in parallel. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I hope you are able to see it. Yeah, it got paused.
Mr. Mahesh, this your drawing where on a notebook or
On a
what?
paper, on a paper, on a
On a
paper.
paper.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have kept a paper down. I have kept a camera at certain angle, my mobile phone at certain angle, and I am trying to draw. So you could see I'm drawing it on a paper. And if I'm on a Zoom meet, I'll want to use only mobile phone, then participants will not be able to see my face, but they'll be able to see what I'm doing on screen and they'll be able to hear me. So that's what I have used. So this way you can actually use your mobile phone only, because if you're comfortable with, you can see how easily I'm writing that formula of 1 upon Rp equals to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. So if this much I'll write on the whiteboard, it takes me more time compared to this much. So you could see I have used the AZ screen recorder to just record and show it to all the participants for today's webinar.
And
So
you
this
have
is,
used your mobile ka back camera.
yes, I have used my mobile ka back camera, not the front camera. Right? Okay. So this is what your, during the Zoom session, how it would be visible. This is you as host, and this is what the participants will be seeing. So this is what will be visible to the participants, what you have drawn on the screen. So you could use it even if you don't have whiteboard, and even if you don't want to use Zoom ka whiteboard. So I guess this was about annotation and whiteboard. So now I'll come to, if you guys have any question related to whatever we have covered, can you just type it in the chat box, because then we'll move on to the last part of the session, which is about the advanced Zoom, about the advanced tool which are there in the paid version. So if you can just put your question, that would be nice. And Radhika, in the meantime, we could have the third poll live, please.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. Great. If you have a question, please put it down in the chat box, and Towards the end, I'll definitely try my level best to answer you people. Thank you. So you can see the questions are there on screen now. First of all, what do you know anything about polling in Zoom, and have you heard of breakout room? If you have been part of various webinars, you must have been there in the breakout room. So whether you have experienced what is breakout room or not, so I'll be talking a bit about those. Yeah, Radhika, can we have the results? Okay, guys, if you could just put your questions, that would be nice if you can. Okay, great. So, do you know anything about polling? So, 42% people says okay. Almost half of people say yes, half of people say no, but they don't know how it works. About the breakout room, okay, nobody know how it work, and okay. Okay, heard about it but never been part of one. So almost all our participants have never been part of breakout room. So I'll be discussing a bit about how it works. So let's go back to our PPT. Yeah. So this was our poll 3, if you could have seen. So going ahead in polling. So right now, if you observe, this is what should be visible if you are a host and if you want to conduct a poll. So now you will be wondering that मैंने तो बहुत सारा मीटिंग किया है, मैंने क्लास लिया है, but ये ऑप्शन दिखाई नहीं देता है. So if you are wondering like that, then you will not be able to observe if you have a free version. So this option of polling and breakout room is available only in the paid version, and there are different types of paid version also. So I'll be talking about a basic paid version. उसमें आपको polling का option मिल जाता है. The moment you click on polling, now what is polling is just to basically have participants feel that they are also part of this process. So I have also conducted 3 polls today, 3 polls yesterday. Although I got detail, but it gives me idea that participants are there. They also feel that they are also taking part in the thing which are happening. So some details also the speaker will be able to get. So you can see how polling can be created. You have to log in, you have to create poll, and you when you are in a session you can launch the poll directly. So this will help in getting detail about what is the actually strength of the participants. If you want to conduct quizzes, you can actually do a quiz and you will understand. After, if you are in a paid version, you also get a report about which person has given what answer. Not during the session, but after the session gets over. And depending on, as I told you, various plans, you have a capacity of doing how many polls. So you could see, if you would have seen last part, last line, it says you can have 25 polls added per schedule per webinar. So in one webinar you can have these many polls added up depending on the strength. So this is what is my trusted tutors paid version. It is visible to you. If you could see on the bottom here next to participants, there is option of poll. So if yours is a paid version, this is what will be visible to you when you try to conduct a poll. The moment you click on it, you get option of what all things you want to have in the poll. You can type your question. You can, if you want to have it as MCQ, you can put it as MCQ. In MCQ, how many options you want to give, all the options will be available, and then you can create poll. Now during the session, you can have option of when you, these all things have to be done before you start a session, but you have to schedule a meeting. So you have to schedule a meeting, you have to create poll. Now when the participants are there, you want to show the poll to everyone so that people can participate. You have to launch the poll. When you launch the poll, again you have options. So right now if you observe the poll which were there, now Radhika is host. When she has launched the poll, I have no right to answer because I'm a panelist. So if you are a panelist, you also have option that whether you want panelists or participants to take part in the poll or not. So if you have made someone as co-host, whether you want the co-host to also take part in the poll or not, that option is also available. And that's what you can see in the center. This is how poll look like. You have, I guess you guys have already taken part in the polling, and this is what is the result. So results will be shared. And again, as I said, that I am not using the paid version. This is the company which is MTT, which is using the paid version of the Zoom. So I have got a little hand of it and I have explored a little bit. But if you want more detail on it, you can obviously visit Zoom's official website, which is zoom.us.in, and you will get more detail about it. This was about poll. Now in the classroom, when we are there, we say that let's do group activity, let's do collaborative work, let's do what I could say subject integration, let's have a group work. So ऑनलाइन एक्टिविटी में क्या करना है, जब when you are in an online session, what to do in that case? So for that purpose you can have breakout room. Again, this option is available only in the paid version, and that too for different paid version, different options are available. How many breakout room, how many people in breakout room, all these things you can do. So if you were part of any of the other webinars where you were given option of going into breakout room, so this is how, when you join the breakout room, this is how it looks like. Going ahead, when you are using your own page, you are on the Zoom home page. When you schedule a meeting, you are a host. That's what is the option available to you, which is breakout room. You click on it and you will be able to create breakout room. So in the paid version, you also have option that how many breakout room you want. You can schedule it before you actually you can create breakout room before actual meeting begin. So if you have 100 participants ready and you want them to have 10 ka 10 breakout room, you can create that previously also. Or Zoom also give you option that you can have a breakout room randomly. It will just allot people randomly, and that also could be done. So this is basically doing a group work, where in the breakout room the options are whether you want to select participants and pick and put them, or you want it to happen manually. All those options are available, and if you are in a breakout room, then the whole, so what you're seeing right now goes away. So you go in your small breakout room. So if I have four people will be in breakout room. Whatever they interact, nobody else could hear it, but the chat box remains common. So if you are a host and you have given, let's say, 10 breakout room, you can communicate with everyone in the chat box. Or if the breakout room, the timing is getting over, so you can see all, whether the participants, if you are in a breakout room, whether you can move out of it or not, whether you want them to move out on particular time, at particular time or not. All these options are available when you are actually using breakout room. Towards the end, you have option that whether you as a host want to just hop in and check. So if you are in a classroom, offline class, you give group activity, you actually move to various groups and see what is happening. So the same thing could be done in the breakout room of Zoom also. You can actually, as a host, you can hop in, अलग अलग group में जाके आप just check कर सकते हो whether they are working or not, and then you can be out. And towards the end, you can actually broadcast a message that now the meeting is now your breakout room is going to get over, so you can come out. Or if nobody comes out, you have option of that after, let's say, 10 seconds everyone will be out. So you could see the options will be available. And again, as I told you, this is again not my detail. Again, I have picked it up from the zoom.us. You can have more detail about it. The more you explore, the more you learn. That's what I'll say. You can have more detail from the website which is available. The link I have attached in the PPT itself. So this PPT, this screen was there. If you were there yesterday, this was there in my first slide. Today it's there almost towards the end. So if you want to use more advanced feature like polling and breakout room, these are some of the advanced feature. If you want to use them, then you should have a paid version. Otherwise, the basic version, whatever I've explained you or discussed with you before the polling was all from the free version. I have not at all used the breakout room. I have not, polling we have used here, but it's not from my own account. It's from the MTT's site, which is my trusted tutors account. So whatever I've shared before polling was all free version. Everything available in the free version. Just little bit more if you want to explore, then paid version is to be used. So going ahead, these are some of the plans again on the Zoom's website. These are the things available. Basic में क्या है, pro में क्या है. As I told you, paid version में भी also there are various options. And now going ahead, if you could see, I'm showing you, some of you may feel that am I the representative or am I just promoting Zoom? I am not promoting anything. I'm here to just share my experience about the use of Zoom with all of you. So there are Zoom, there's Google Meet, there is Microsoft Team. You can use anything. Everything come with plus and minus. So I'm here to just, I was just explaining you about how I have used Zoom. I hope somehow it was effective for me. I have not used the other app. So if you're using, we'll be having sessions for them also. That's it from my end, guys. If you have any question, please put down in the chat box. And apart from that, also if you come up with any question related to Zoom or with related to online teaching or offline teaching also, where we could help you out, you can mark your mail to mytrustedtutor.com, or you can mark me also on my email ID which is mentioned here.